students, and so I'm glad to be here today to talk to you. And I was telling Crystal I was thinking of a topic, and I thought, well, I could pick an area of law, and it might apply to one of you, and the rest of you would just sit there politely bored. And so I decided that something that would pertain to all of you is what I wanted to talk about. And when I'm training paralegals and getting them ready to go into the workplace, one of the things I really hope they leave my class with, is the tools and abilities to have a life and be a paralegal. Because sometimes that's difficult. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially working in the legal field. So I want to say right up front that what I'm going to talk about with you today, everyone is different. And what works for you works for you. And what works for you may not work for someone else. So if I say something you think, well, that's not my experience, that's probably true. You won't all have the same experience. So you have to discover what works for you with your employer, your boss, and your family, and then set your own life goals. But I'm going to talk in generalities today about how to sort of prepare to have that work-life balance and how to get it if you've set up a pattern in your workplace where you don't have that. Because once you let those boundaries be crossed, it's hard to push the boundary back because the expectation is there that you will do whatever they need you to do. So first I want to start by telling you about my really bad day, because I want you to think about a really bad day you've had on the job where you hated your job and you wish you weren't doing that, and the work-life balance was off, and maybe you wondered what the heck you were doing in this job. If you had a day like that, I'm going to tell you about my day when I first became an attorney, and I've been an attorney since 1989. I practiced law for 18 years before I started teaching. But I had been an attorney about maybe a month, and I came into work, tripping into work. I'm a big attorney now, got my suit on, got my office, big grin on my face. My partner that I work for, Nancy Van Sloten, she comes up to me and says, here's a file. I need you to go to court on this probate case. Hands me a big thick file and says, you need to be there in 45 minutes. It's in Los Angeles. You don't get anywhere in 45 minutes, right? So panic. Have you felt that feeling when you're new on a job? Panic. What? I have to go to court? I'm so unprepared. I needed a month to be, you should have told me a month ago I had to go to court today. I grabbed the file. We didn't have navigation. I had to get directions, how to get to this courthouse. Got in my brand new car that I bought when I got this job a month ago, brand new car, didn't have a decent car for 7 years while I was in school. The car I had, I paid $15 for it. And it didn't go over 30. And it had big fuzzy dice, and in LA when I would drive around town, people would yell, immigration, out the window at me. Because they thought I was, a Mexican bomber, this car. So I had this brand new car I bought, this Honda Accord. I went in there like a grown-up and signed. I get in my brand new Honda. I start leaving the parking lot and I back into the cement pillar. My brand new car. I'm so nervous, I didn't look behind me. Backed up, slam. So now I gotta go to court, I'm late, and I just entered my brand new car. I'm practically in tears. I get on the freeway, race to the courthouse, find it somehow. Now I can't find parking. You ever parked in LA? The parking is 1.5 miles away. It's a satellite lot. And then you have to walk in your brand new pumps, because remember we had to wear skirts and pantyhose and pumps, hurting my feet all the way from the satellite lot to the courthouse. I get in the courthouse in the front door. I have no idea where the courtroom is, I just have a number. The hallways are super wide, marble, and there's a line of people going this way, and a line of people going this way is traffic patterns in this courthouse. Left turn lanes when you walk. And I'm walking down the hallway, I got the file under my arm here, looking for my courtroom, and wouldn't you know it, that file hits the floor. And a stack of attached papers went whoosh across all traffic patterns. And people are stepping on my papers. I mean, they're going to court. They're not going to stop and help me. I'm on my hands and knees. I'm gathering all these in my skirt and my pantyhose and my pumps, gathering these pieces of papers up, wondering why we didn't have paralegals in, why the legal secretary gave me the file in that shape. I get all the pieces of paper. They're all out of shape. Some are sticking up this way and that way. I can't get them back. I shove them in the file. I go into my courtroom, which I had to stop someone in the hallway and ask. I get in there. I'm sweating. A river of sweat. I'm so nervous. I have to stand up. I can't even say my name, make this appearance. The judge asked me some questions. I can't tell you what. I gave some answers. Then he issued an order. And I leave. Get back in my car. Oh, I'm so glad that's over. Go back to my office. See that Nancy, my managing partner, she says, what was the order in the case? What did the judge decide? And I said, what? I didn't write it down. I don't know what the order is. Well, I'm gonna have to wait for the minute order then. What's a minute order? I have no idea. Well, you're supposed to write down what the judge orders so that I can prepare an order. I didn't write anything down. I had no idea what the judge had ordered, so now she's mad at me. I've got holes in the knees of my nylons. I got a dent in the back of my car, and I'm wondering what qualified me to have this job. I don't know what I'm doing. Have you had a day like that? Yeah, it was horrible. And that was my entry to the legal profession. And I almost gave up at that point. I was so upset about that day. And fortunately I didn't, because I had a very good career in the end. Although I will tell you that law school does not prepare lawyers to be paralegals or to do anything that you folks do. In fact, we can't do much of anything but think. Now, I hope today, all these many years later, lawyers are being prepared to do some of the things. Do you find that lawyers can draft pleadings or keep a calendar or no? Oh, yeah. Still can't? Sort of can? Young ones can?
Yeah, young ones can.
Young ones can. I got out of law school, I didn't know how to do anything but think, and really couldn't produce anything. Had to learn it all on the job. So that was not fair, what happened to me. And we were sort of like paralegals, brand new attorneys. We did the tasks that you guys do, because we didn't have paralegals. We had legal secretaries and attorneys. And legal secretaries typed. That's all they did, pretty much, was type. And we were treated as paralegals. So they had no business sending me off to court like that with no preparation and the file in that shape. And a file should be able to be dropped, would you agree? Yeah. Without a mess ensuing. So I think maybe they were punking me or something. Let's send the new attorney out there. And so really not a good way to start a career. And I know that we all have those days, but I don't think our job should be that way every day. It shouldn't be a constant string of stressful, tearful, upsetting days. Now, are there some attorneys that working for them is like that? A constant stream of upsetting, tearful days? Yeah, there are, and I have students who've told me about those kind of jobs, and generally I tell them, quit and take it off your resume. Just don't even mention you worked there for 2 months, because that is really upsetting to have that kind of job. So let's talk about why is it hard for us sometimes as paralegals to get this healthy work-life balance. What makes it difficult for us to do that? And I have 4 things that I think make it hard. First is the personality type that generally paralegals share. I know that some people aren't going to fit in this mold, but generally I find paralegals sort of are a little bit similar in personality type. Second, being a workaholic. Third, technology. Wait, that's supposed to make our lives easier, right? Fourth, perfectionism. Okay, so we're going to talk about those. So first, I want you to count on your fingers. Left for yes, right for no, and you can hold it in your lap. You don't have to admit this to anybody. I want you to answer these questions. Left hand if it's yes, right hand if it's no. Are you competitive? Are you ambitious? Are you overly critical of others or yourself? And emphasis on yourself. Are you impatient with others or yourself? Are you aggressive? Do you feel guilty if you take spare time to relax? Do you generally move, talk, and walk rapidly? And do you often try to do more than one thing at a time? Okay, so if you have mostly yeses on your left hand and hardly any no's on your right hand, you are probably a type A personality. And maybe some of you self-identify as that. If not, you could be and probably are a type B personality, which is more relaxed, non-competitive, you express your feelings well, and you're a little bit more easygoing. My experience is that most legal workers are type A personality. Would you agree with that? And I mean legal workers as in paralegals and attorneys. And we get this dynamic going in the law firm of type A personality attorneys with type A personality paralegals, and it's like an explosive situation sometimes because everybody wants everything done their way. Do you have attorneys you work for like that? Yeah, it might not be the best way, but it's my way, and you will do it my way. All right, so if you are a type A personality, and I'll tell you my students, I always joke with them, do we make you type A or did you come to us type A? Because my students so overthink everything, and they want 102% of the points. I say 93 is an A. Well, I don't care. I want to do the extra credit. Okay, now you have 102%. Oh, I'm so happy. It's crazy. I don't understand it. 93 is an A, let's get 102. Instead of maybe take a night off, let's do some more homework. And they really are type A, and I tell them that's really a good thing for being a paralegal, to be type A. It helps you to do your job, to be attention to detail and be organized. But on a work-life balance, it can be a challenge if you are a type A personality. Are you a workaholic? So maybe some of us identify ourselves as workaholics. We're happier working than anywhere else. We find it hard to relax when we're not working. And we like to blend our work life with our home life or our social life. We don't like to leave the job behind and go home and not check our cell phones, not take work home, not think about work. So if you're a workaholic, we become workaholics because we like helping our clients and we like making a difference and we like to learn continuously. And you like being part of your profession, and of course, we like making money. So maybe that defines you, that you are a type A personality who is a workaholic. So this is going to make it difficult to obtain that work-life balance for you. You're going to have to work hard at it. So we get our identity and our structure as paralegals, and our self-esteem maybe from our jobs. Of course we do. I do too. I'm proud to say when people ask me, what do you do? I'm proud to say what I do. It gives me self-esteem for people to say, oh, you do? Wow, you're an attorney? I thought you were just a mom. I love tricking people that way. Yeah, they think I'm a mom, and I say, oh, I'm an attorney, and they go, you? That to me that's a compliment, because I don't always like to be identified as an attorney, but that's another lecture. Okay, because we do have such a huge impact on our clients, this is one of the reasons it's easy to become overly responsible, because we can make or break our clients' cases almost, I think, as much or more than the attorney. What you do has more of an impact, in my opinion, although I train paralegals, so I'm biased. I think you have more impact on the client's case than even the attorney. Yes, they steer the boat, but you're paddling. And your paddling is really important. All right, and this leads, if we don't do our job the way we think that we should, or with as many hours as we think we should, we might become, guilt-ridden, we become perfectionists, or obsessive compulsive, which is not a good thing to be. So how do we let go of this? A lot of overachievers like us develop perfectionist tendencies at a young age, but at a time when our demands are light. We're in junior high, for instance, And all we have to do is go to school, do a little bit of chores at home, and nowadays they run their social media, but we didn't have to do that, did we? So it was easy to be a perfectionist in junior high and high school. Our lives were relatively, easy compared to what we have now. So if you develop that characteristic early in life and you carry it over to now where you have a job, a family, outside interests, things that you have to do, maybe you're caring for elderly parents, you've got responsibilities in your church or in your community. Now you're being a perfectionist with 3 times as much stuff on your plate. So that can become a problem. It's easier to maintain that habit when you're a kid, but pretty hard when life gets more complicated. So one of the things we can do to have better work-life balance is to let that perfectionism go. Oh, that's easy to say, right? But how do you do it? It's part of your personality. Yeah, I have a daughter who's a perfectionist. Nothing's good enough for her. And I just don't, I've talked myself blue in the face. I don't know how to help people not to be perfectionists. But it really does take away from your work-life balance to kind of have that characteristic. Another thing that we can do is, or that interferes with our work-life balance, is technology. Emails, texts, phone calls, boy, they can go day and night now, can't they? Do you get them in the middle of the night from your attorney, 2 o'clock in the morning? Hey, don't forget tomorrow that I need you to do this thing. And you're just getting ready to fall asleep, you're all relaxed, and then you get the text and you think, oh no, I gotta do this thing tomorrow. Now I'm not relaxed, now I can't sleep. So technology can get in the way. We need to set boundaries on that. Do any of you have examples of when your attorney or your client stepped over that boundary with technology? Any horror stories you want to share? Your attorney texts you while you're in the bathroom, on the toilet. Can't call me back, I need to talk to you right now. Yeah, those things shouldn't be happening. Yeah, and clients. Do you give your cell phone number out to your clients? No, no one does. Does your attorney have your cell phone number? That's common. Do you have boundaries on when and how and where they can call you or text you? No boundaries. Are they pretty good about not interfering in your life? You guys work for good attorneys. Or you've taught them. Have you set those boundaries and trained them not to go over them? Is that why they're so good? Probably. So you've probably worked pretty hard with your attorneys to get them to have those boundaries and keep them. So that is in your favor, keeping that technology out of your life, because it can encroach. And at the most happy times of your life, you're at somebody's graduation or something, boy, that phone dings. Can you ignore it? Do you have any problem?
You know what, I tell my attorneys and the people I work with, once I leave the office, I don't check my emails, I don't check my phone. I may come in the next day to 107 emails, but they know that I will not look at emails or phone calls once I get home.
And is that true? You don't check them at all? That's awesome. That's great. And do you often have a lot of them in the morning?
You know, I do, and the thing is, it would overtake my life if
Yeah.
I did, because I have an attorney that thinks he has to email every little thing.
I call it fiddly fart thing. Okay, so good for you. And I worry about some of my students that are, young, frankly, 19, 20 years old, and they get in these jobs and they don't know how. They see their attorney as a father figure or a mother figure, and they're not real good at setting those boundaries. And I think life experience teaches us we've got to do that. You probably were abused in the past with that, somewhere, somehow.
Yeah, I'm old now. When I was young, I took all those calls.
You learned your lesson. Isn't that great? I wouldn't be 19 again for all the money in the world.
Or 30.
No, or 30 on? Yeah, that's true, not 30. I wouldn't mind being 40 again. Maybe even 50, that would look pretty good. So yeah, good for you. And that's really important that we do that we keep that technology out of our lives. Because I see people, their phone dings and they'll try to keep talking to you, but you can see their stress level rising because they want to check it. And they're trying to check it without you knowing they're checking it. Their eyes are sliding over there and they're moving their phone and they're trying to like unconsciously, start it, whatever you call that, unlock it so that they can see who called. And they know it's rude, but they can't not do it. They just want to look at it. So that is, we've got to really be sure not to do that. Okay, so another thing we can do is to set manageable goals every day. And I don't think that our attorneys care if the goals are manageable or not. They just keep piling the work on. No matter how much they've given you, they don't say, you know, that's probably enough for one day. They just pile it on you. And they keep piling it and they don't really consider, wow, she's probably overwhelmed at this point because I just brought in 15 things. Yes.
For everything they give you, they think, oh, this will take you 20 minutes.
Oh.
It's like 2 hours.
And it's priority. Do it now because it'll only take you 2 minutes.
Everything's priority. Right?
Yeah. And really it's 40 minutes. And does it come before or after the 6 things you gave me last hour? Yeah, so you know, being able to set your, you know, kind of your goals each day to be manageable, it gives you a feeling of control over your life. And when you feel in control, you will be happier. And you will have less stress in your life if you feel like you have some control. With attorneys, that can be hard to do because they want to be in control of you. And they want you to do what they say they want to do. And you know, I am an attorney and I kind of talk bad about attorneys, don't I? Well, because they're idiots, they're unorganized, and some of them just kind of jerks. Some of them. Some are lovely. I like to think I'm one of the lovely ones. So don't burst my bubble. But I never treated my secretaries that way, but some are not nice. And they will not treat you nice. And some of us can't just walk away from our jobs. We have to learn to deal with these people and to set these boundaries for them. So if you can try to keep a little bit of control over what you can, which is usually your desk, right? What's on your desk you can control. Where everything goes and what piles, how do I prioritize this work is up to you, unless they tell you you've got to do it now. So setting those goals reasonably. Be realistic about the workload and the deadlines. Your boss comes in, gives you a dictated motion for summary judgment and says, I need it tomorrow by noon. A motion for summary judgment? Really? Half a day? Are you kidding me? Do they not realize that how much time that takes? Do you want it done by noon or do you want it done right? Because if you want it done right, it's not going to be by noon. Or you're going to end up working through the night. Anybody ever done that? I did it twice as a law clerk, 24 hours through the night. Young and stupid and trying to get a job. So we don't want to let them push us into unreasonable deadlines. And you do have the ability to push back. Is there a nice way to push back? Can you do it without offending your attorney? Can you say, what? You're a jerk, what are you doing? You can't expect that. Or how else could you give them a little pushback in a nice way? What could you say? What do you say to your attorneys? Okay, boss?
Just like,
Go
I
ahead.
think it's going to take longer than you're thinking, you know,
Okay.
explain it nicely, you know.
I've done many of these. I'm pretty efficient at it, but I happen to know, because this is what I do, that this is probably a 3-day project. What else?
I always just tell them, well, you're bumping your bump. So, you know, however you want it, that you just keep pushing your own top priorities down. And
Oh.
they're not making it.
So I might be able to do it by tomorrow noon, but nothing else will get done. Okay, so make them think about their priorities. Because they don't always think about that, do they?
No,
Just
they fire them all at you. This and this.
you do this now. Right? It's important. It's important. Do them. It'd be nice if they could like put a red, yellow, or green on.
Of course, everything will have red on it.
They're all red. You know, aren't some sort of not a priority? No, not to them. So that really to try to get those manageable deadlines, make a to-do list. Do any of you use a to-do list at work? That's how we live and die, right? By a list of what I plan to do today. And does that work out for you? Do you get done what you plan to do today? Never do we. That's job security right there. So you might get part of your list done, the most important things, right? So that's a good thing to do, take care of the important tasks first. And maybe we could get rid of some that are not really essential. Could they be reassigned, or could you delegate some of those assignments or some of those tasks to someone else? All right, next, be efficient with your time at work. Not procrastinate. I'm a terrible procrastinator. And you know what happens when I procrastinate? The task gets bigger and bigger and bigger in my mind, and I want to do it less and less and less, and I wait longer and longer, and it gets bigger and bigger, and then I do it, and I think, why did I procrastinate? That wasn't that big of a deal. But I made it bigger because I procrastinated. So I find procrastinating to be really stressful. And it really ruins my balance in my work. And because when I procrastinated, it now becomes a priority. Something has to give for me to get it done because I didn't do it in the time I had. I'm terrible about that. I'll have a 4-day weekend and I think, oh, I can grade these briefs, 20 briefs written by first-year students. I can grade those on Saturday. Saturday comes, no, I'll do it on Sunday. I don't work on Monday. Oh, I'll do it on Monday. Monday, my sister calls, hey, you want to go to lunch, go shopping? Sure. It's on Monday, 2 o'clock in the morning. On Tuesday morning, I'm creating briefs. And it's become this animal, this monster. So procrastinating is not a good thing. We've got to teach ourselves to not do that. And you think paralegals don't procrastinate because you can't, right? Did any of you procrastinate? It's human, right? A lot of us have a tendency to that, but it sure causes our stress to go up. So we should try not to procrastinate because we will have less stress if we don't. Do it when you have the time, do it early. I've even done things, and then this is telling you about the condition of my brain. I'll do something and I'll go back a week later and think, oh, I've got to do that. And I pull it up and, oh, surprise, it's done. What a nice surprise. Yeah.
I've never understood the concept. I know people who say, I work best under
Stress or pressure.
And I purposely don't do anything ahead of time because I don't know if they mean I get briefed to the point way better than if you start something really early because then you tend to like put more into it.
I don't know, are any of you like that?
I'm not that person.
Yeah, I think, I do procrastinate sometimes, but I don't like it when I do, it's not fun. All right, take 5. Taking a break at work. Do you get to do that? Do you have, at your law firm, does a bell go off when it's time for your 15-minute break and everybody gets up from their desk and goes out to the roach wagon out front? That doesn't happen. How do you get your breaks at work? Does your boss come and say, you know what, it's probably time for you to take a break. It's 11:30, it's time for your break. Does that happen? The only way you're going to get a break is if you take it. So you should make sure, do you know by law you're entitled to that break? Nobody's going to come tell you to take it. You need to take it. So take that break. It's not only acceptable, it should be encouraged by your employer because these small breaks help you to clear your head and it improves your ability to deal with stress. When you can walk around the building 3 times, my favorite break, Diet Coke. Gotta go get yourself a little caffeine, right? I feel better when I come back from my break and I've walked down to the corner and got something to drink and walked back. 15 minutes max, and it just makes a big difference. And your boss may be having a stroke because you're not at your desk, but too bad, so sad. You're entitled to that break and you will be doing them a favor to take your break. It will make you a better decision maker and help you to jump back in when you get back.
We have it where I work that like secretaries and paralegals will purposely put a sign like over their computer, like lunch and stuff. We still have attorneys, oh, I know you're on lunch, but I need to talk to you about it.
They'll hunt you down in the break room. And you're like eating and they're handing you papers and you're like, I am eating my lunch, what are you doing?
Yeah, you got to, this will just take a few minutes, I just need to tell you not.
And you need those breaks to not think about the work, to clear your head and talk to your friend maybe, or just eat in silence. Or I've even gone and eaten in my car to hide from my managing partner. Hot in the summer, it's I roll the windows down, it's 100 degrees, and and I lay my seat down so they can't see me in there. You're hiding, you know, that shouldn't be, right? We shouldn't be entitled to our breaks. So it's up to you to really train your attorney to allow those breaks, and with your head up and your chest out, say, I am taking my 15-minute break. I'll be back in 15 minutes, not, oh, I'm sorry. Can you do without me for 15 minutes? You're entitled to this break, and you just be a proud woman and take your break. And they can just wait for 15 minutes. Maybe they could take a break and calm down a little bit. That would be good. Okay, tune in. Do any of you listen to music at work? Is this counterintuitive that you shouldn't listen to music while you're working? You think, oh, that's distracting. Well, research shows that back 30 years ago, this is not new research, that the benefits of music in everyday life include lowering your blood pressure, lowering stress, helping you to concentrate, and making you a happier person. So you might try listening to some music. And if you're in a place where you can't play it out loud because you have a cubby mate or a seat mate, try some headphones. Maybe people won't approach you if you have headphones in. They'll think, oh, she's working. So stick them in there. Maybe if you just have I do that on airplanes. I stick them in my ears and nothing's going, but I don't want anybody talking to me. So try that. But listen to some music if that helps you. And I have a teenage son, and I'll say, why do you listen to music when you do homework? He's shown me the studies. I'm going to show you, Mom. And sure enough, it does improve concentration, and it does lower your blood pressure, your heart rate, makes your stress lower. It's good for you to listen to music while you work. Darn it, I was wrong on that one. Couldn't get him to turn it off. All right, communicating effectively. Being honest with your boss and with your coworkers. Oh, this is a hard one. What would you need to be honest with your boss about? I got too much work. You are killing me. I need some help. Why is it so hard for us to get those words out of our mouths? Do you struggle with that?
Because I always think that he thinks, okay, she's getting old, she's no good anymore.
She's lame.
I need to get rid of her and get somebody else.
Oh, have you ever asked him if that's what he's thinking?
No, I don't have the guts.
You don't have the guts to say, do you ever think maybe that you want to get rid of me?
He's a millennial, you know what I
Well,
mean?
he's young.
He's like 35 years old and he's just at a whole different.
And you know what, honestly, if you asked him, you know what he'd say? I couldn't function without you. Are you kidding? I don't want some paralegal that's brand new, that I need you because I don't know what I'm doing. You think?
I don't know. He's different, and I don't know if he'd tell me that because he'd think it would boost my ego. I want to think that, but.
Oh, he's trying to not boost your ego. He likes you worm level. Oh, he's a charmer. Yeah, I don't know what to do with him, except to be honest. There is a point where enough is enough, and if you want quality work out of me, you need to lay off for a minute. You need to take some of these non-essential assignments and give them to someone else maybe. And let's delegate a little bit and really suggest an alternative to him. Don't just say, I'm too busy. You can say, I've got this summary judgment motion to do and I have these 3 other things on my desk. Could we ask the receptionist to write these